to me, it's an interesting story. I've been living in Nashville the last 22 years now, went there in '89. And I was brought there by some old friends who had become successful. Kathy Bailey and her husband, Michael Bonagura, had a band called Bailey and the Boys on RCA. And I was called in to be the singing bass player there, and it was perfect. That's a whole story in and of itself. It was perfect timing for me to make a shift from Woodstock to Nashville and change my life. And so I was only there a couple of years, but at some point, this guy, who I didn't really have any idea who he was, had come to town out of retirement, and Michael had grabbed him up to be in the band. This was his first gig when he got to Nashville, and it was Larry Knechtel, of course. Later come to find out who he is, and a member of Bread, played piano on Bridge Over Troubled Water, and bass on Mr. Tambourine Man, and guitar solo on Guitar Man, and
did he play organ on
Good Vibrations. You know, he's one of the Wrecking Crew, as it's been called in LA. So he played on so many records, Up and Away, MacArthur Park, Classical Cat, you know, all that stuff he was on. And but he was an unassuming guy. He didn't tell a lot of stories, but he played really well. And we became buddies of a sort. And he had an 8-track. He had an 8-track studio in his house. This is 1991, I think it was. And I had a song I wanted to demo. It was my first country song I had written. And so he allowed me that, and he had a collection of just piano changes, pieces, musical pieces that had chord changes, no lyrics, not really any melodies. And so I listened to a few of them, and I picked one out. And I somehow, I don't know where I conjured the lyric from. It's just basically the story, the lament of the secret admirer, right? It's about a guy who, in his dream, is a hero, and the woman worships him, but in real life, she doesn't even know he's alive. So, but I was married at the time. I was, I don't know where I got it from. I just kind of channeled the lyric and put it to his changes, and we recorded that. And I remember it was funny, at the end he said, and of course he played bass on Mr. Tambourine, he was a bass player as well. He commended me on my bass playing. So it's like, wow, that's pretty cool. And so that was 91, I think, and then in 94 or 95 when we were recording the Ride CD, I unveiled that song to Larry and John, and they took a real love to it, and nurtured me, who was not much of a guitar player at that time. Still not a great guitar player, but a lot better than I used to be. John nurtured me through a recording, getting a clean, and we had to make some cuts and things, getting a clean version of that out of me instead of playing it either of those guys. And that was the first, I think it's the first really good song of mine that we recorded, because there were a few back when that were, whatever, but that was kind of a landmark for me, and it has stood the test of time. And I was pleased last night when we started it up that the crowd started applauding.
Oh, I think people really like that song. I mean, even when people don't know it, and we play it live, it's different than everything else in the show, and they really respond. And while we're talking about songs, the Lance wrote, and also that Ride album, not Ride album, Dance in the Moonlight album, one of my favorite songs that we've ever recorded is a song called Mission of Mercy, which is the only song that Lance wrote with John. And I love that song. I just think it's a real great sleeper.
Yeah, John had, in all that time, I didn't think of myself as a songwriter, and nobody else therefore thought of me as a songwriter either. But John had come back to Nashville for residence again I guess the early 90s. He had an apartment there, and he was looking to write, and I think he had started the song, and he wanted Michael McDonald to finish it with him, but he couldn't get Michael's attention.
So I got somebody who looks like him.
Yeah, so he defaulted to me, and I do say that I added, I'm not really, you're never sure after the fact Was that my line? Was that his line? How did that happen? I don't remember anymore. But I am clear of the kinds of things that I think, and so I know which parts are mine. And there's a lot of me in there as well as John. But it was our only collaboration, just as a duo. We've written other songs like Heaven was written with Larry and John and Bob Lineback and me. And so we wrote in 3s and 4s, but that was the only time John and I ever had just a single co-write together.
Yeah, so Heaven is another good song on the Dance in the Moonlight album. So how do you get the Dance in the Moonlight album?
Well, Dance in the Moonlight album became out of print. I don't know that there are any more copies, except we just recently stumbled upon 50. We have the last 50 copies, and after that, I don't know. We'll have to do another pressing, and that's an investment. Unless we're going to move a bunch of them, it's like, did we do that or not? But one of our projects is Winter, Larry.
Right.
We have sold out of a lot of things, and we have to make what they call short runs, 100, 200, to have some stock of these products that are up on the site for sale that we have no stock of. So when people order them, we go, sorry, we can't.
Yeah.
We don't have any.
Well, the site OrleansOnline.com. I mean, we're kind of our own record label, so people always go, I can't find your record anywhere. Well, that's where you find it.
Yeah, and we're pretty. Like we kind of get it, but we don't really get it. So we're not. I'm sure if somebody had a better marketing brain, we could have our stuff in more places. But it's so difficult to be a creative artist and be your own manager and your own promotion team and your own marketing team and do the grunt work, and it's just so much.
There's not enough hours in the day, even if you do have some skill set that works in business or in video. We're aware of what we need to do. We're not the best at it, but I think we're better than most, and I think we're definitely better than most people our age who've been doing music. So we got a clue, but we don't have enough time.
I don't get a lot of session work in Nashville. You're either actively on that scene really heavily, or you're not on the scene at all. And most of the work goes to a few people. And then there's everybody else scrambling for everything else. And it's all about the hang, and who and all those relationships, which is not my best thing. I'm more of a hermit. So I've lived there a long time, but I live on the fringe of the functioning community. And but even so, I do an occasional session. I play around town a bit. I've done a couple of productions this past year. Friends of mine who are good singer-songwriters wanted to get their albums done. And one is named Sean Galloway, and that came out really, really good. And another guy named Simon McCain. So between little off gigs and production projects and occasional gigs with Kathy and Michael still, if schedules allow. And I also, I play at my church. I play rhythm guitar, acoustic guitar, and sing in the band there, which is a pretty cool band, every Sunday that I'm home, and I've done that for years as well. In fact, it's really taught me to be a better guitar player. That's where I've learned a lot, learning new songs for whoever is coming in to sing every week. So it's been a good training ground for me as a guitarist. And so we just we keep busy, then